That one. Maybe just a little dot. Maybe not a dot. So, good evening, everybody. Good evening. I'm just sorting my shada out. What a full day we've had today. We've been learning today. Lots of learning has been done. How much of it's sunk in? So you've heard me say that we've joined this this thing called Clockwork Eye, it's called. So if you're wanting to do webby stuff, great people, get in touch. And they do on a Friday, they do all these webinars. So we've been webinaring our little hearts out today. So on Wednesday, oh, hang on, get your teeth in, Anthea, get your teeth in and start. I'm not going to say a word about any of that business. So apologies for looking that way. Oh, Ted, could you let Ted in, please? Apologies for looking that way. We've moved back over here. So for the last few lives, we've been over there and I've been sat down. But this afternoon, well, in the last 10 minutes, we've decided to move over here.
What was that we?
All right, I decided we were moving over here. And the reason we've moved over here is because I've got a forward facing and a downy facing camera, because we're going to have a little look at a couple of different ways. So where are we comments? Where are our comments, Tech? I'm too far away. I can't see anything. Oh, hey, don't you have bright ideas all at the last minute? So my comments should be coming down there. And I can't. Well, we haven't got any. Just a sec while I have a look at my screen. Ah, there we go. Vanya, hello. Janet, hello. Margaret, hello. Louise, hiya. And Sally from Scotland, hello. Oh, Ted's been a pest. He wanted to come in, now it's to go out. Next door's got a little friend playing, so if we open the door, what you're going to have is screaming children and even louder mummies. Don't mummies make a lot of noise? We blame the kids, but it's always the mummies. So hope the mummies aren't watching the live stream. Oops. So what you been up to? Because it's a beautiful day today. Is it beautiful everywhere? Hi, Lynn. Lynn, I keep saying I'm going to get round to ringing you. We'll get round to ringing you. Karen, hello. Good evening. Good evening. So yeah, what have you all been up to? Oh, hi, Sue. Sue Meaden on the line today. What have you all been up to? Have you been enjoying this weather? Is it sunny where you are? Is it sunny everywhere? I'm not sure. It's sunny in the northwest. If it's sunny in the northwest, then it should be sunny everywhere else. So come on, tell me what you're up to. What you up to? Where are you? What you doing? Let's plot that map around the country or even the world. Although we're at the wrong time for the world, because the hours. So America, you could be watching. So, or am I just being a little bit? Probably. What is it? About 1 o'clock in places in America in the afternoon. Australia, we're all in bed. Australia, we're about 1 o'clock in the morning. I know that because our Gem's out there. Hiya, Pat. How are you doing? Oh, Lynn's been sewing this afternoon. Oh, hello, Em. Hello, Isabel. So what have you been sewing? Something nice. Give us some, you put a picture on if it'll let you upload one. Then let's have a look. So tell us all what you've been doing. So meanwhile, while you're telling me, get me told. I need feed me comments and stuff. But on Wednesday, what I did, I said to everyone, do you want any help with any of our projects? So if you've bought a pattern and you're going to start it, or you're thinking about buying a pattern but you don't know which one because you don't know if it's for you, send a message. Now, from Wednesday, people sent me, I've had a few messages. We've got a few projects to get through. If you want to send a message now, ask and we might. That's the thing, because I'll try and find the sample. Most samples are around here somewhere. Some are easier to find than others. So ask and we might. But I'm going to show you a few of our things. Oh, hi, Wynne. Hi, Doreen. Oh, you're getting better all the time, Doreen. Oh, Sally, I am right. I'm going to also apologise. So this week has not been a good administrative week, and I've got 2 sacks of stuff in my car. And the joys of living in a rural area, I haven't been able to get near a post office yesterday or today. and it's just how the cookie crumbles, because you can't just pop anywhere around here. You've got to like squeeze it in and shoehorn it and make it work. So just the diary has meant that nothing has left for the last 2 days. Oh, Pat's at the caravan. Oh, that sounds nice. Anderby Creek, I don't know where that is. A project that will surprise the person I was doing. Oh, that's very cryptic, Lynn. Vanya's request was around dolls. Yeah, but I need you to be a bit more specific, because there's so many dolls and there's so many different ways to do dolls. We need to be a bit more specific. So if there's one of ours that you like, I think, was it you, Doreen, that was asking as well? Give me a project and then we'll see if we can lay our hands on that doll and go from there. Sally's been making a pincushion. Oh, do you know, I love a pincushion. You know, they're just a nice thing to make because they're small, so they're quick. Well, it depends how fancy you're going. But you don't mind gifting a pincushion because you feel like it's small enough and it hasn't cost you a lot, and you know what I mean. But also you can collect pincushions because they're small and they go everywhere and you can never have too many pincushions. So I love a nice pincushion. So what else have we got? Oh, Lincolnshire by Mablethorpe. Ah, Pat, now I know where you're. Vanya, the easiest possible. Oh, Vanya. Give me a bit more to go on. If you've seen one of our dolls and you know which one it is or style it is, let me know, because it's a bit too much to just go vague, because there's lots of different ways of doll making, and if I get the wrong way then it's no good to you. But we can always do it another time anyway, so don't worry about them today. I do like an emoji, Vanya. That's okay. It's nice looking out for post. It is nice looking out for post, Sally. It's also frustrating when somebody like me doesn't seem to be quick enough. But I know I keep harping on, since the create and craft debacle, there just isn't as many of us working here, and we're not working for the hours. Well, I am, but yeah, Sue and Sarah don't do the hours that they used to do. Hazel didn't make it through that debacle. Roberta's dropped off as well. So there's the same amount of stuff to do, but there's just a lot less of us doing it, which is hard. It's very hard, but we'll get there. We'll get back to where we were. But it does mean that, like yesterday and today, where my diary was chock-a-block with other things, there's just me. So it's what it is anyway. Right, where are we? Oh, hiya, Jill. So right, Doreen, it was, but I haven't had the inclination to go through them yet. Right, I tell you what then, Doreen and Vanya, as you're both doll makers and neither of you have got know which one it is you want to look at, both of you have a look, both of you see what you fancy information about, let me know and we'll do a doll making one. How's about that? We'll do a session just on dolls, or a big chunk of it on dolls, depending what it is you want to know. Hi, Shirley. Yeah, Vanya, can I just ask you to pop me a message when you just need to have an idea. Yeah, no problem, Vanya. No problem at all. I can certainly do that. Sorry, I'm just a bit like a rabbit stuck in the headlights at times. So, right, I'm going to go to some of the things in no particular order. Some of the things that we were asked to have a look at. Now, I'm going to start with Summer Companions. Because one of our lovely ladies is doing the Summer Companions. So I've got the kit because I know that that you've got the kit. So here it is. Let me hold it up to the camera. So in the kit here, you have got all the things to make the stuff that you see there. If you can't see it there, it's not in the kit. So it says here, additional requirements, 2 backings, waddings, seed beads, and fusible web. We didn't put seed beads in either. Fusible web. Right, the 2 backings, that means calico. We've used calico. If you want to just use up something that you've got that you're not that keen on anymore, or you've got some nice birdie fabric, that's fine. But we used calico, so you would need to put that in. And the reason that we use 2 backings, I'm going to show you. So, what we did here, oh, in fact, Techie, let's have a downy. Let's have a downy. Is that the right way up, or is that the right way up? That's the right way up. Upside down is the right way up. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to get it as best I can in the shot. So we've got our summer companions. So it's this one here. And what we did, so you can see that it's all pieces going down. It's all different pieces. Now, if you started putting those pieces together, it wouldn't be stable. So what we did, we had a piece of backing, right, which was a piece of calico for us. I wouldn't be using anything dark, although if you've got a printed fabric and it's like light on the other side, turn it the other way up. That would be fine. Thank you, Sally. Fiona, we can come to Jacqueline's face. That's a good one. So put a piece of, start from the beginning. Let's move that. Put a piece of calico down on your desk. Then put some wadding on top of it. And then put another piece of calico on. So you've got a sandwich. Now, this one doesn't show any quilting, but the way I would do it is you've got a quilt sandwich. I think Sue put that one on afterwards. I'm not sure why, but she did. You've got your 3 layers. You've got your backing, your wadding, and then some calico or something light on the top, right? And then start from the top. Always lay things on first, get things how you want them, and then take them off and start again. Now, you could, if you wanted to, make this blue go all the way down to the bottom. But the blue is more expensive than calico. And how long's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You're 15 inches there. A fat quarter wouldn't get you quite to the bottom. So you'd be looking at a 1/2 metre, which is a waste of your blue if you use the blue all the way under. And the blue is more expensive than calico. So just use the chunk that you want. So you've got your layers, calico, wadding, calico. Lay your blue on the top. Now I would take your blue down to, so that's the lowest part that's visible there. I would take your blue down to roughly here. So it's below that little slit there. Just take it to there, lay it on. And then what Sue's done here, she's done the wall, the grey wall, in 2 pieces. I'm going to just lift this up to the camera so you can have a look. Can you see there? That is 1 piece of grey. Show you the whole thing. And then she's used stitch to divide it. And these bits of greenery here are just stitch, just green thread, just go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Yep. And that you can use more than 1 green. So she's got 2 lights, 2 light, just light ones, and that one's got a light and a dark green in it. Just, you know, it's like drawing with your sewing machine. So start at the point, up, down, up, down, up, down. Yep, the whole way. So the wall is not individual bricks. It's just 1 chunk. And then the stone, if you will, is drawn in stitch. And the same over here, although that doesn't quite stand out as much on the camera. So let's put it down and you've got a wider view. So you've got 1 piece of stone there, 1 piece of stone there, and they are overlapped by this green. Yeah, I'm going to lift it up a sec. The green is put on. This final stone here is on top of the green. I'm going to lift it up and then you can see, and I'm going to explain why that is. So, can you see? That, sorry, just getting it in the camera in the right place. So these pieces of grey go underneath the green. That piece is on top of the green. That's just 1 little bit that's put on separately. Okay, let's go down and let's start again. So you've got your blue on all the way down. You've put your grey on, and initially you just need to sew on the top edge. Yep, just across. All the way around. Now, personally, I would go all the way around and then I would come all the way back. I like 2 lines of stitching. And again, on this one, put it all the way around, stitch all the way around, and then come back. After you've done that, put your green on for your foreground. Yep, put the green on, overlapping the bottom of this wall. And your green, just very simply, stitch across and stitch back. That's it. That's your background, your basic background, done in those 3 colours. Bosh, bosh, bosh. This brick here is put on because it breaks that line between the grey going under the green and this grey goes over the green. It's just adding interest. Can you see? It's meddling with your eye. And because it meddles with your eye, it just makes it look a little bit more technical. It's not technical, it's just a bit of grey that's blobbed on. So you've got your back done. Now the birds here, the long-tailed tits. And if you look at long-tailed tits, they're quite a blush colour. So what we've got in the kit, we have got, I'll just get it out of the bag. We have got, so your long-tailed tits, you've got 3 colours. You've got this kind of textured beige colour, which is, we cut a whole bird out in that, the whole thing. And then on top of that, you've got the peach, which gives it its blush. That's your peach there. And you've enough in that piece to do all 3 birds. The colour looks a bit washed out on my screen here. But if you've got the kit, that is a definite peach. And all the kits are packed, I think, in the same way. So if you've got this and you're wondering, that's what you've got. And then you've got this charcoal black here. And the charcoal black is cut in 1 piece. I'm going to lift it back up to the camera in a sec. Now look what Sue's done. Let me get it the right way around. That bird is constructed in only 3 pieces. But what she's done is she's used a zigzag stitch here to accentuate the wing so that it looks, and you're not supposed to look at it this close because it's going to be on your wall. So let's put it back down here. When you look there, that looks quite a detailed bird when you're looking at it from a distance. But in actual fact, it's 1, beige, 2, the peach, 3, the charcoal on top, tying it all together. And these birds are basically the same bird, it's just positioned differently. So if you think about like these scissors, you've got 1 there, turn, you've got 1 there, turn, you've got 1 there. And by putting these 3 in different positions, and you've got right facing and left facing, that is 1 bird diagram that you've got, and you're getting 3 birds. And then you've got this other one down here. Now that one has got 2 layers of peach, and I'm just wondering, let me have a little look. Yeah, I'm just wondering, I think Sue's coloured its tummy in with a pencil. I'm just thinking that's what she's done there. And you can do that. So that's the second piece she's put on top, just to lift it up just a tiny, tiny bit. And then she's rubbed, could be blusher, could be a pencil over the top, just to give it that extra blushiness. So let me just have a look at the comments that are coming in, and then we can, where are we? Thank you, Karen. We love long-tailed tits as well. Lynn, I would send a picture but can't work out how. Don't worry about it. Oh, thank you, Sarah. You've put a link on there. Sally, she's done a combination of straight stitch and zigzag. So for the piecing, or the, you know, the main applique, it's a straight stitch. And then for the birds, she's done zigzag, and that's because she wanted that feathered look. And we've used the colour of the thread just to add in, you know, like kind of like barbs on the tail, if you will. So if it was a straight stitch going round, it would just be a piece plonked on. But because it's, I'm going to try and get the best shot I can, because it's a zigzag stitch, I'm blurring as I'm getting close to the camera. So come away and you'll see that that light coloured zigzag stitch, looking from a distance, which is where you would look at it, all of a sudden looks a bit like barbs on the tail. So that's using your stitch as another piece of fabric, if you will. So you've got your background done. You've put your birds on. The leaves here, I mean, what we've done here is we've layered 2 pieces of fabric. Let me just get a piece of fabric. Da-da-dum. I'm just going to grab a dirty big piece of green. So just get a piece of fabric, fold it in half, draw your leaf shapes on, yeah, and then stitch around through both layers, stitch around, chug onto the next one, stitch around, chug onto the next one, stitch around. Once you've stitched around all your leaves, cut them out, yeah, just cut out near them. Now our leaves are made of cotton. We like mixing up the layers, or these leaves are made of cotton, and the thread, it's kind of a golden, browny, yellowy, all sorts. So she's put veins on as she's gone round. You can see there, my finger goes under there. So she's stitched veins on as she's gone round, but to attach to the background has just gone up and down the centre vein there. And that means that all the leaves lift up like 3D. Yeah. So they're not 100% flat. So sometimes they look a bit like they're curling. And it also means that you can layer things. And that same technique is used for these flowers here. I come to try and get it in focus a bit better. So that is just 2 layers of white fabric, and the stitching is in, probably better to look at it down here. The stitching is in a yellow. I'm not sure you can tell that because it's just going a bit kind of blurry when I get too close. So that's your white flowers, that's your green leaves here, and then these little miniature strawberries exactly the same way. But what Sue's done this time is she's used green on the front and this spotty green on the back. And the reason for that is that when you're placing them down, and they're done in exactly the same way, she's put a lot more stitch detail on these to replicate strawberry leaves. But when you do it that way, as you're building up your composition, you can decide, oh, that looks a bit dark. I'll turn this one over and I'll have something a bit lighter there. So you can, it gives you the scope to turn things over. Yeah. So we've got one turned over, but you could have several turned over if that's what you want, because you may be using different fabrics. We use wool. You don't have to. You could use any, I'm going to use the word suitable fabric, because if you're going to start using t-shirt material, you're not going to get this effect, or you're going to be something special if you do. You know what I'm saying? So that's all your leaves, that's your flowers, and then up here, the cow parsley, Queen Anne's lace, whatever you want to call it, because this could be any of those varieties of plant. All Sue's done is she's just meandered with the sewing machine, stitching using green, up, down, and repeat. And when she's got to the top, she's gone out. Now, once you have always practice these things on some scrap. If you're going to go straight to this and you're going to make a boo-boo, you're going to leave a scar on your background fabric. So have a practice on some scrap. Just layer something up. And we've all got bits of stuff knocking about to do that with. It doesn't have to be the right colours. You just want to get yourself, your hand and your machine used to. We don't use free motion, by the way. Just come up and then do like an arc. Sometimes you might move this under your machine to get that arc. Sometimes you might be doing, you know, a bit more. You'll just get the feel for your machine. So she's just made these fingers going up here and then decorated randomly with seed beads. Because, you know, when you see the cow parsley in the hedgerows, it looks like those flowers are floating. So there's just little groups. That one's got 3, 8. That one's about 8 or 9 seed beads in that tiny little group there. And then here you've just got singles or doubles or fours or whatever. Just little random groups. And this was just a random, like a test tube of beads that went everything from clear through golden colour to like a, I don't know, it's a light browny green in there. And that just makes it look, I think you'll agree, like the cow parsley where it's floating, you know, in the hedgerows. So that is that. Now, if you've got spring companions, summer companions, autumn companions, or winter companions, it is exactly the same technique. They've each got a 3D element, which can be slightly different in each one, but it's the exact same technique for all those wall hangings. We did them as a set. So once you've finished, square it off, you know, so cut it straight with your rotary cutter. And if it ends up a bit different to ours, it doesn't matter. I mean, what you could do is, you know, change it. You've got a cushion there. That would make, I mean, you'd probably more likely change the design that way. Yeah. So you've got a bit more top and a bit more, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. But that would make a cushion. That's just recomposing it. Or a bag, a tote bag. Just pick out, I mean, you could do In the pattern for this, you've also got the instructions for a doorstop, and we put the birds on each side. Your strawberries, by the way, they are just stitched on. It's just a bit of red stitched on, a few little yellow hand stitches, and the stalks are just stitched. So it doesn't get much easier than that. So binding, pick a nice colour to bind. The binding is in the kit, if you've got the kit. There you go. But there you go. So that is Summer Companions explained, and that also takes into account the rest of that set of companion wall hangings. Right, let's have a look. Just have a little read at these comments. Oh heck. And you have other fabrics, not just tweed. Yeah, we mix fabrics up all the time. The autumn version of this has wool, it has cotton, and it has organza. We might use felt in there. We think more fabric artist rather than traditional patchwork and quilter. The leaves have interfacing. No, Vanya, they have something called fusible web. And we've got some handy, I think, knocking about. The fusible web, it's kind of a, can I have a forwardy one, Tech, please? The fusible web, it's like a paper thing. I'm just seeing if there's any knocking. I've got a tiny bit here. So, tiny bit. So, it's like paper. And what you do, you put that on your drawing, and then you can trace through. So, the paper side... So I noticed the other day you'd done something and commented that you didn't have the templates. So the template is just the paper drawing. So you put your fusible web, it comes on a roll, and you might buy a 1/4 metre, half, whatever metre. You trace through. Now on this one, this is actually the fox that you've just done. So that's the body. Can you make it out? That's the body. And that's the, I've too much light in there. I can't quite get it to show up, Tech. That's all the, blast. That's the legs anyway, and the end of the tail. So you draw them onto your fusible web and then roughly cut them out. You don't cut them out precisely on the line, because what you do is with the iron, so you've drawn on one side and the other side it's rough. And what you would do is with your iron, you would stick it onto, not your actual project. In fact, I'm just misleading you to do that. So with your iron, you would iron to fuse, and with wool, a steam iron is always better than a dry iron. Dry irons are a bit ineffective, really. Iron it on. Once you've ironed it on, then you cut out on your outer line. The reason you do that is because the fusible web doesn't tend to stick as well right on the edges. So if your drawing isn't on the edge, then it's stuck. You're going to cut away the bit that's not stuck as well. So you cut it out. And then once you've cut out your shape, let it cool. You can peel off the paper back. Oh,
well, there you go.
Have we got sound now?
Yeah.
Why? What was wrong?
I don't know.
Oh, I think Gremlin might have been in and pressed the mute button while no one was looking.
She's put me onto a new streaming program without me testing it, so
my bad. Right, anyway, Take your scruffy devil, put them away. Right, next thing that we got asked for was, let me have a look at my list. Summer companions we've done. Tips for tweed. Right, tweed. There is no tips. Well, there kind of is, kind of isn't. So things that we do with tweed that we don't do with cotton. So we use a steam iron for our fusible web. With cotton, you would only use a dry iron. With wool, that's not enough. You need that moisture, that steam. But how I do it, so that's my fabric there. This is my iron, my steam iron. So get your steam iron and just hover it above your fabric. Let some steam come through and let everything get gummy, and then just press and away. You don't want to keep that iron on there because you don't want to risk scorching. So get it hot and gummy, and then a press and away. See if it's stuck, and if it hasn't stuck, repeat. So get it hot and gummy, press and away. A pressing cloth could help, you know, like damp tea towel, all that kind of thing. If you should scorch your wool, and we've done it so many times, I can't even tell you. So let's say, for instance, let's say that we scorched it right there. Do you know what we'd do? If it didn't scratch off, we'd put an applique on it. You'd get an extra leaf. Don't get your knickers in a twist. Don't worry about it. There is so many ways around it, and you've always got a little bit left over that you can add in. So that's how we would get away with any scorch that didn't just scratch off with your finger. Other things that we do. Now, the wool that I buy is not the kind that frays for toffee. It's not that real loose weave stuff. But having said that, if I've spent, let's say you've done a full quilt. If I've spent a few £100 on a full project, or like a bag or something like that, do I want to leave it to chance that that wool is never going to fray? Now, if it's bound with wadding and lining and it's all quilted, the chances are it's never going to do. But what we like to do is top stitch. I'm just wondering if you could grab me a project, take
Take your pick.
one of these cushions from up here, please, not the blue one. That'll do nicely. You watch, it'll have no top stitching on it now. And it hasn't. It hasn't. Ha ha! That
one has.
Is it? Yeah, that one has. Right. Can't see it so well, but this one has top stitching. Now I'm going to come up to the camera. So top stitching, wool's quite strong compared to cotton. So cotton, you join your two things together, you open it out, and in the main, you can finger press. And I'm going to pile up here. We'll this in a minute, won't it? You can finger press your seams, and they'll behave and they'll stay open. Well, tweed, it's like your teenager, and it's like, I'm not doing that. And so it might go, bloop. Well, you're doing what I say, so top stitching. So the top stitching is sewing. I don't know if you can see it there. I've got another example. We've sewn on the edge of that seam. So the seam allowances have both been pushed to the same way, and from the top, we've stitched through all layers. Sewing through all layers, it's going to keep those seam allowances where they should be, and it gives a nice, smart seam. Now, I've also got, chuck that down there in a minute, on here, this cushion has been top stitched around the edge, so you might be able to see this a bit better. So can you see around the edge there, we've top stitched, because that keeps the front on the front and the back on the back. Now, it's no different top stitching around the edge of there as top stitching on these seams here. Makes no difference. But one of the beauties of top stitching, so apart from keeping everything looking flat, means that that seam has got an extra layer of stitch in it. It's less likely to fray. Now, other ways, and it's what's done on this one, you can't see it because it's all within. Have I got one that I can show easily? Don't think I have. This one here, what we've done, we've zigzagged over the seams. So on the other side, on the inside, the seams have been zigzagged over, and that way they're not going to fray. And I'm going to explain to you how the fray happens. So let me just see if I can find a piece that looks like it might be. Right, so when wool is woven, you have warp threads that go from top to bottom, and you have weft threads that go left to right, yeah? And they interweave like that, and you get wool. Right, so the fraying is when, oops, let me weave my weave again. So the fraying is when tension, so something pulls from one side or the other. If I pulled from the bottom, I pull those stitches out, and these here look like they might fray. Now, in some cases, we can use that fray to our advantage, and we can make, like nice textured grass and things like this. But if it's holding your seams together, it's not what you want. So fray happens when, can you see? In fact, could we have a down camera, please, again? I'll show you on the down camera and I'll get a bit closer. I'll put my little box in that I'm coming to next to show you. There we go. So fray happens when one of the threads comes out. So you can see there, I'm pulling the thread out. Yeah. And that is fraying. It's the threads pulling out. And you can see it's going all fluffy and unstable on the edge. Okay. Now, do you have a biro I could use, please, Tech? I'm going to deface this gorgeous fabric. That'll be fine, the one in your hand. So if I top stitch as shown, then I'm going to prevent, so I'll be top stitching by folding it down. Yeah. If there's any tension, it's going to come from this folded edge, pull there. Well, the fluffy bit is facing over here. It can't fray. Or the other thing I can do is do a zigzag and zigzag, not as big as I'm drawing it, on the edge, right? Because if I've zigged and zagged on the edge, oops, where are we? Like thus, yeah, it can fray on this edge, but it can't fray beyond that stitch line, because that zigzag, it's all over the fibers. It's confusing that fray line, because your fray needs to be one that comes, never frays when you want it to. Let's go this way. The fray needs to go all the way down. You can see there. Right, and what I'm also showing you is the first threads that I pulled out were green. These threads that I've just pulled out are kind of a beigey colour. One of the beauties of tweed is when you're fraying, if I want to put that colour detail on, I'd pull out the green threads and I'd have this beigey tone. But let's say I'm wanting to do like a garden and I want to have some fluffy grass. I've pulled out the lighter thread, and what's left there is the darker green, and that's going to be a real nice detail. And what I would do is straight stitch below that fray line so that that always stays loose and frayy, and that's just a way to use it artistically. So that's your fraying. Right, other things. I got asked for a bit more on a twee box. So a twee box it's the one that I showed you the other day. Now, I'm not going to do a lot on here, but I'm just going to, if anybody's got any questions, do put them in. So I put my glasses on because I'm looking at these questions. And where are we? Back. My mum taught me the zigzag recently. Yep, it's a good trick, is a zigzag van. Yep. So right, a twee box. Let's lift it up. It all falls down. I love these. Really simple. Yeah. Now, was it you, Vanya, that asked how we sew these pieces in? So first of all, there's lots of double-sided tape used in this. All these layers are held together with tape. And if they come apart, you can just put more tape in and stick them back down together. But the actual layers, so you make each page, each leaf, whatever you want to call it, as an independent thing. And then what you would do is right sides together. Whoops. So got stuff dropping out all over. That wasn't supposed to happen. So that's the base piece there. And that's one of the walls there. So let's put them right sides together. Yeah. And then on the top here, it's like English paper piecing. You just stitch on that join there, just nipping a little piece of the fabric in your needle there. You don't need to go massively through, just that top bit. Or you can do ladder stitch. We've touched on ladder stitch before, whereas I would go within the layers, up, straight across, within the layers, up, straight across, within the layers, up, straight across, and then do it like a, you know, a bit like a Grecian square, you know, on your coving or something like that. And then you will have on your good side, you can't see any of the stitching there. You see, no stitching on view at all. It's just like English paper piecing. So let me just assemble what I've just wrecked. Oops, let's put them back under there. And I think I lost some scissors, didn't I? Oh, there they go. Put my pair of scissors in, and then you've got your little pin cushion there, which sits on. You can put Velcro on that or anything if you want to. I think we made ours as a bit of an afterthought. So I have to probably pretend it's got Velcro on. So that's that. Now, if you can make this cube, there is no reason why you can't make the hexagon version, because the hexagon version, let me take the lid off, is exactly the same thing. Oh, and she does have something on the bottom, but she's just naughty. So it's exactly the same thing. You can see these leaves, these pages, they're exactly the same as the square one. The only thing that's different is the hexagon shape down here. And each leaf is the same size as one side on the hexagon. And the height, up this way, you know, that way, can be as high as you want, really. So there you go. So that's these. The lids are a little bit more technical. Now, we do have a tutorial on the website that you can buy if you want to do this with us. It's a full tutorial on there. Tech, do you want to put the link to the tutorial?
I was going to put the link to all
if
of them
anybody
on
wants
there.
it. And then here we have the other one that we've actually done 4 different ones, but I'm only showing you 3 tonight. This one is the pyramid version. And the reason we did the pyramid is because you don't need to do a lid. And the lid was probably the bit that was going to test you. So here we have, you've got your square there, and each side of the pyramid is the same size as one of the squares. If you do want the tutorial for the exploding box, Tex just put it on there. Hiya, Karen.
I haven't put it on yet.
Oh, it was Janet that wanted to know about the ladder stitching. Ah, right. So yeah. So this one, the pyramid shape one, positives and negatives. So you don't have a lid to make with this one. It's just put the sides together and tie them up with ribbon. We use the grosgrain ribbon, and grosgrain, I don't know if you can tell in the glare of the things, it's the one that's ribbed. You can probably hear my finger on it, the texture there. Because it's got those ribs on, when you tie it up together, it behaves, it stays tied. You know, the satin ribbons, they're prone to sliding and coming unfastened, but the grosgrain stays fastened much better. So you can see I've just got 2 and 2, tied them in a knot, and then come over the top and finish my bow. And that is the pyramid version. This one, I love how Sue decorated this one. So it's a chicken pulling a worm. It's knitting wool is that she's couched on. So pulling a bit more and a bit more, got it out, and then cock-a-doodle-doo. I like that one. So that's the pyramid version. What else have we got? Fiona put teapots down, but I don't think you were serious, Fiona, because your teapots are better than mine. So, but we did look at the teapots the other week. So I'm going to look at now the sewing roll tutorial. And again, the sewing roll, where did I put my bag? There is a whole tutorial that you can buy on the website if you want to do it. The sewing roll it's the sewing roll that I've used for years. Now, the original sewing roll, excuse me, wrinkly. The original sewing roll I did in my beginner's class when I was learning how to do patchwork. No one had a clue whose design it was, but it did have a few flaws in it. It didn't have any decoration on. So we decided, as did many of my classmates actually, that we would not rewrite it, but improve it. So that's what we did. So there, shall we have a little look there, Tech? So this is 2 of the versions that we've done. The 3rd version, the one with the tailor's dummy on, that's the one I use all the time, and it's at home. These 2 are here. Now, they are virtually identical. inside, because there's not a lot you can do to improve them, because they really are so good. So they are, as you can see, virtually identical up to the end. This one here has a pocket at the side, which we did because we thought you could store a pattern in there. We thought that'd be really good to, you know, whatever you're working on. This one here, you can put pens down there, and we did. In fact, we told you on the pattern that we did, but we didn't put embroidery rings here. I think we did. So that's the differences between them, and slightly different applique too. So this one, you've got the nice kind of holding the tape measure and holding the scissors. We were going for the look, you know, on the Disney Cinderella film where the mice are helping like make Cinderella's dress and stuff. We were kind of going, that's what inspired this. So that's where we were going there. So I'll look at this one here. So this one, how it's made, what you do, start with the outer and wadding, layer it up, quilt it, and then on the inside you start with one piece of fabric that's as big as the whole thing. For us it was this one, and then you start with your pockets. So you create this with the zip and you put that on, and then you join your scissor pocket. Your scissors go in here with the elastic through there to fasten on. Your scissors go in there. You've got an elasticated pocket, which we did a little needle case in, just a tiny little one that fits in there with its twisted cord, which I do like a twisted cord. The pin cushion is probably the most difficult part about it, and I think we've done it quite well in the instructions. We've used velvet on ours. You make the whole unit, and then you stuff it, and then you kind of put it, so you make it and the sides are on, and then you put it all down in one piece and stitch in, and then you just carry on with the next pockets and so on and so forth all the way across. Finish off with binding. Again, I'm not going to go too much into the specifics of that, because the people who paid for the class, it's a little bit of an insult if I'm giving it for free. But if you do want the class, that one is there on the website, and you can buy into that one if you want to. So what else have we got on the list? Does anybody want to know anything else? Fiona, wrong. Oh, it was you, Fiona. Oh, well then, Fiona Greenslade, I'll tell you. Where are we? Oh, thank you, Margaret. Margaret's loving the session, and Wynne, it's a really useful piece of kit. Wynne uses hers all the time because Wynne was in the class. So yeah, we had a good session, didn't we? So there we go. In fact, you just reminded me, the lady who didn't come because she was ill, I think I still owe her the video. Right, teapot bunting. Let me just tick off what I've done here. We've done the sewing roll. We've done tips for tweed. Oh, Jenny Brooker, day trip to Bangor. Yes, I do remember it, and we've done that. Jenny, if you're watching, you sent me a message about gold and silver. So the gold and silver on the website is by the fat quarter. So if you want more, just buy, well, am I sending you a parcel out? If I haven't sent you a parcel, I can slip it in there. But the if you wanted half a metre, let's say, you'd buy 2 units. If you asked for 3 units, you would get 75 centimetres, and 4 units would be a full metre. So that's kind of 5 would be 1.25 metres, and so on and so forth. So right, teapot bunting. Not difficult at all, and very effective when it's not tied up in a little knot. Once you get it out, though, it's fine. We might need a little bit of technical assistance here. Can I give you those to just untangle? So what we did in the teapot bunting is there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different teapots, all on some ribbon. So you've got kind of your everyday teapot. And this one, you're getting, you know, a little bit more Victoriana with some of these. I do like a Victoriana shaped teapot. So we were using pastels deliberately because we were selling pastels. Doreen, I have a choice of 3 for you. My first is Seth, Jellicle, and Skatey Sue. Ooh, right. Okay, well, we're going to come back to dolls. Probably not today. We'll do a dolls session, I think. And then this shape here, this one's a bit more like a coffee pot shape. And then this one's a bit more like an everyday shape. I'm sure we used to have a teapot like that when I was a kid. And then the decoration on them, it's appliqued on some of them, just very, very, very simple applique. And then on the end one, just for a difference, because ours is like, ours is samples more than like at home, you're going to do all that suits you, where we're doing samples, so we're trying to show the maximum number of things, hence we've got 6 different teapots. This one here is embroidered on there. Sorry, my head's looking that way because I'm trying to make sure I'm in the camera with you. So that one's embroidered. Now you could do a string of 6 teapots, just like us. You could do a string of 300 teapots, doing like, I don't know, 50 of each. It's up to you. Or you could do 10 of the same teapot. It's up to you how you go about it. So you might think, oh, that resembles the one that's in my tea set. So you might stick to that one there. As I said, ours are all pastel because that was the thing that we were selling at that time, was the pastels. So we were showcasing that as much as the project. Now Fiona did hers, and Fiona's flowers, she used much darker colours, and I actually preferred Fiona's. Fiona, often I prefer Fiona's stuff to ours. She's blooming brilliant. So that was thing. Now what Sue's done here, we've got the in our form. Now we didn't start out by cutting a teapot. What we did, a great project for using up leftovers, start with just a square of in our form, Styleville, whatever you've got, and then use some calico. So on your calico, draw your full teapot. And then what Sue's done to give just some level of depth is, I'm not sure if you can see, she's put the handle and the spout on first. So what she's done, she's put the fabric over the handle area, turned over, and then stitched on the lines that she drew. Yeah, she stitched on those and then cut the fabric back to the stitch line. Now at this stage you don't need to cut the hole out, but just roughly cut it back. And the same for the spout. You can see the spout fabric goes behind the main body of the teapot. And then after that she's come back and she's put, where are we? She's then put the whole lot of the lid and the rest of the teapot on, because what she's done after that is she's come back and put the ribbon on, which makes it look like the lid and the body are 2 pieces of fabric, when in fact it's just a cheat, because that was put on afterwards. Decorate as much or as little as you want, and then once you've finished, just cut it all out close to your line going round. It's not difficult. And again, I think we could probably do some kind of tutorial on that at some point. So I hope, Fiona, that answers your question. So yes, Louise, Fiona is brilliant. She's prolific, is what she is. A bit like Janet Earl, prolific. You should see the list of photos that Janet sent me of all the stuff she's done. I don't know, when do you sleep? I don't think you do sleep, Janet, though, do you? Janet's all, if I send messages out at daft times of the day or night, Janet's always the first one to get back. So, right, Doreen, let me just make a note. Doreen, we've got Seth, we've got Jellicle, and we've got Skatey Sue. Right, now then, what you won't realise at this stage is that you've picked 3 complete and utter different making up methods. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to mock something up, not now, and I'm going to do that. So if anybody else has got any of our dolls that they like, let me know, and I'll mock something up. It'll just be like a calico doll, just to show you how they go. Because Seth, his body, head and limbs are made one way. Jellicle Cat, I know they're made a different way. And Skatey Sue, I think is more in common with Seth, but I just need to double check because I think the heads are different. So yeah, so I'll leave that with me and we'll sort something. Again, that could be a video, couldn't it? Right. Okie dokie. So what time are we at? Right. I am going to, because I can see your numbers are just dropping a little bit, I am going to bring this to an end now. And the reason is because I'm going to go and enjoy a little bit of sunshine. So, and I hope you lot will as well. So if you want to make some nice teapot bunting for your garden, go ahead, get some teapots. Or if you want yourself a nice sewing roll to keep your stuff in, I like this because when I've been to class and I'm going home, I can just look and I know that everything's there and I haven't left anything behind. Or if you want to make yourself a fantastic twee box, I hope we've now given you all the skills that you need. So so for tonight, I am going to love you. Oh, hang on. Jacqueline's face, pretty please. Yeah, let's just have a quick look at Jacqueline's face. She's over there, Sarah. Right, Jacqueline's face. So what Roberta has done here, I'm going to come in close. Can you see she's got dimples? Yeah. So her mouth is satin stitched, so that's just stitched on. Her nose and her cheeks are just dimples. And let me just have a look behind. Her eyes are also dimples. In fact, I'm going to could we switch cameras and have over here? I'm going to show you the real gubbins that goes on behind. So the thing about Roberta is she's not trained in anything, well, fabric wise. So she makes it up as she goes along, and in doing that creates some other stuff. So could we switch to Downy?
Oh, sorry, I thought you said.
Oh no, sorry.
Me confused.
There we go. So look at this under the glasses. Can you see there? Oh, show you a bit better. So the side of the glasses is completely fake, and then the eye is just a dot, and the eyebrow is stitched on it. The eyebrow is satin stitches. Now what she's done is she starts from the back of the head. She brings the needle through from the back of the head. She'll draw on the face. She'll mark on dimples, nose, eyes. And the nose, now I haven't read the pattern before I'm telling you this. You've got the pattern. So if there's any like discrepancies in what I'm saying, you can put that straight, yeah? So what she's done, she's brought a needle in through the back of the head. She'll come out in the eye and then go back in at the eye and come out at the other eye. Or she may even come through and then back out of the back and pull, yeah? And then come back into the next eye and down to the back and pull. She might go from one eye straight through to the other and then out the back and pull. But in pulling that thread overly tight, what she's creating, is these dimples. So there's a dimple there next to the mouth, and there's two dimples here. And I think let me just have a really close look. I think the nose has two dimples at the top. So what she's doing is she's going between the holes. She's pulling the thread really, really tight. And in pulling the thread, it's causing it to pucker. You know, it's everything that in normal sewing you would be trying not to do. She's using that. Go on the side view. See, so the nose isn't sticking out miles. She's just created a wrinkle. That's probably the best way to describe it. Can you see there? It's the tiniest. I'll put my pen next to it. It's the tiniest wrinkle. So look at the end of the pen there, which we know is only, what does it measure? The end of the pen there measures just over, I've gone the wrong way, just over 1/8 of an inch. So if I'm putting that there, the nose is probably sticking out at the absolute most 1/8 of an inch. And that is, she's just created a wrinkle. And as I say, you've got your dots that you mark on, and then you're going through from the back of the head, pull. So the hair isn't on at this stage. And what I would do, if I'm totally honest, is I would mock a head up in calico before you've used your good stuff. Make one in calico. and then do all this pulling through and make all your little ridges and your depressions, because you then you might decide, oh well, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to change the other. So that's kind of a handy way. So your mouth, there's a center spot in there, and the thread is coming out and each time passing through to make it look like a kiss. So look, yeah, she's just got a center place there. So I'm thinking she may have drawn a mouth shape on the outlines so that she knows what she can go around. And also what you can do is do a straight stitch around the outside of the mouth first, and then you've got a solid line to work on. That's another way that you can do it. But get the face sorted and then do the hat and the hair, because putting the hat and the hair on, you're going to hide everywhere where you've come through the back and pulled, because you're going to make dimples and depressions on the back. The hair, we went through hair on Wednesday, so if you missed that, look back on Wednesday and you will see that. So costumes in 3 parts. Is it? No, it isn't. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you've got the top bodice bit and the straps she's just made separately and put on. So she hasn't made a full costume, and she's stuffed her bottom so that her bum's got a ridge. Yeah, so she's got that costume nice and stuffed up. And then these legs, she stitched them to the body, but I'm thinking, as I say, I haven't read the pattern, I'm thinking that they're nice and gathered because it's taking up that excess there, and gathering up these gives it that kind of that look and allows you to stuff her bottom. So she's she's ready for a Queen song. Fat bottom girls, you make this rocking world go round. The shoes, pardon?
I wondered where you were going with that.
Donis, nobody rattled your cage. The shoes are made in sections, so she's done the shoes in pieces. So I think the bit that goes up the front, the T-bar, is in one piece. The bit on the toe is in another piece, and then it's all, I don't know if you can just tell, let's get it the right way around. That back piece there is put on, and that's hiding all the gubbins. The heel on the shoe is just like a sausage roll. So right, anyway, I've quite enjoyed myself this evening. So let's have a front on it. Let's have a I'm back. So right, I've really enjoyed it. And if there's anything else that you want to know, any of our designs, so Tech and I, if you haven't gathered, we're filming. We're in filming mode. We're doing all this stuff. So just let me know, because we're filming kind of loads of little videos and how-tos and all sorts, just like little short clips. So depending where they're going, for Etsy, it's a 15-second video, which is a bit naff if I'm honest, but it sorts Etsy out. For YouTube, there's little short ones under 3 minutes, and then there's bigger ones, and there's all sorts going on. Well, you might as well tell us what you want us to do, because if we're going to do a video, we might as well do what you want. So send in your requests, and if there's something we've never done and you want to know how to, send in a request and we'll work that out too. But for now, I'm going to love you and leave you. Go and have a fantastic sunny weekend. I'm off up to Scotland this weekend. I've got an 8-year-old's birthday party to go to. Woohoo! Laser Quest. Not sure Granny's up for that, but we'll give it a best shot. So I'll be back on Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock, and we love you lots, and we'll see you then. Bye!